everybody, I'm Mackenzie Harris and welcome to this segment of Hometown Hype. This is our first political interview that we'll be doing, and I'm going to be interviewing Mr. Rossie Creel, who is running for mayor of Poplarville. And Mr. Rossie, let's start off about why you would want to be the mayor of Poplarville.
Mackenzie, that's probably the easiest question you'll ask me. The answer is real easy. It's because I love Poplarville. I've been here all my life. I raised my children here. I grew up here, went to school here. I've worked here since I was 16 years old. My entire adult life has been spent working for the city of Poplarville. So my roots here run really deep, and I just love it here. I love the people here, and I want to be a part of the growth and prosperity that's going to come in the future.
Exactly, be a part of maybe some big changes too of Poplarville. You talked about how you worked here. Tell us a little bit about your work and aren't you a police officer here?
Yes, I worked for the city of Poplarville for 18 and a half years and did every job there from patrolman to school resource officer to captain with the duties of an assistant chief. So I had a lot of hands-on with budget planning and things like that. Attended a lot of board meetings, so really got my feet wet there. And now I'm back here again, working for the Poplarville School District as a school resource officer.
That's awesome. And so let's talk about your role as mayor. How do you plan to increase the tax base to cover the cost of the city services?
Well, you have to be innovative in order to increase tax revenue. Fortunately, over the past 4 years, just studying the city's budget a little bit, the tax revenue has increased from the time this administration took office until now. Unfortunately, the problem has been in appropriating those funds in the right places. I think there's some priorities that are mixed up a little bit, and we need to redirect some of those funds so that we can work on things that essential functions like infrastructure, streets and sewer and water and things like that that are beginning to fail because they're old, and when stuff gets old, it fails. So we need to come up with innovative ways to raise funds to replace those, whether it be through federal grants, I don't know all the answers to that, and probably won't until I get in there, but I know that one thing that we can do is to reappropriate and redirect those funds into those projects so we can get some more things done.
Exactly, be more efficient with how things are used and where money is spent.
Right.
So Mr. Rossie, we're a small town, and our community is based off of our school district and our community college that we have here, PRCC. What kind of value do you put on building relationships with the school district and PRCC?
I think that building relationships with those entities is invaluable. We raise our children here. Our children come up through our school system, and it's very important that we support them in any way that we can, not try to find conflict with them. The same with Pearl River. Pearl River has a lot of programs that they can help the city with. They've got a heavy equipment program. They've got lineman programs. And they have to train those students to go out into the workplace, into the working world, to do those jobs. And in order to train them, they can partner with the city and other government entities in town to get some of those things done, some of that training done on projects in town that would save the taxpayers here thousands of dollars.
Exactly, using those students there as resources instead of
Right.
just students coming in classes and stuff, actually using them to better the community.
Right. And
Exactly.
I think too that being an employee of the school district also gives me an added benefit because I've already got those relationships, close relationships with the administration of the school district here. And I believe that we can bridge some gaps that have been put in place over the past few years so that we can further our partnerships with them.
Exactly, build better relationships and just keep it all growing together.
Right.
So let's talk about a little bit of Poplarville. You say you grew up here, everything there is to know about Poplarville. So what would you say is Poplarville's identity?
I think right now we're probably looked at as like a bedroom community. And I think that we can be more than that. I think a lot of times we reach outside to other towns, other small towns who may be doing something a little different for ideas to help our own town grow. I want to be the leader in that aspect. I want other towns to look at us for ideas. I don't want us to have to look elsewhere. I want us to be the shining light in South Mississippi so that other small towns look at us to say, we want to be like them.
Exactly. We want what they have.
That's right.
So we want a better identity. But let's talk about the people of Poplarville too. If you were to describe the people of Poplarville to someone who had never been here or did not live here their whole life, how would you describe the people of Poplarville?
Poplarville has some of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. You guys are good examples of that. Also, I think we're very resilient. We went through Hurricane Katrina in 2005, and Poplarville and the northern part of Pearl River County kind of led the way on recovery. We had things going before surrounding communities on the coast and our neighboring counties. We had things happening before any of those other communities did, so that we were able to get out and help those guys too.
Exactly. I feel like in a time of need that everybody in Poplarville can come together and make stuff happen.
Absolutely.
They're very give you the shirt off their back kind of people to me. And so with all the people in the community, there's a lot of younger kids in the community as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you have had your own share of experiences out at the Little League baseball fields and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I hear my dad talk about it all the time that we could change the world with Little League baseball. So what does that mean to you? What do you think about that statement?
Little League baseball, of course, is probably one of the most popular things among our youth in the country. We have the opportunity to instill things in young people: character, leadership, responsibility, the will to win. Those are the type things that we can instill in those children, and those qualities last a lifetime. And I believe that through doing that with our children here and teaching them those things, they'll grow up to be good, responsible citizens and do nothing but improve our community, which is what we all should be after, is improving our community.
Exactly. Mr. Rossie, as a mayoral candidate, we're talking about Poplarville as the city of Poplarville, but it's also a piece of a larger county, Pearl River County. How would you go about improving the relationships with the Board of Supervisors that we have?
It has a lot to do with communication. The Board of Supervisors in the past, they've had a decent relationship as far as some of them identifying that citizens in this town not only pay city taxes, they pay county taxes too. That's one thing. But with living in the city, you have to pay taxes for city amenities, but your city is in that county and you've got to pay those taxes as well. And there are some supervisors who have recognized that, where in previous supervisor administrations, they may have had the point of view that they're in the city, they need to take care of themselves. Where you have some supervisors in place now that recognize that we are a part of the county, and they are willing to reach out and help. They've talked about helping alleviate some traffic around the lower elementary by helping us to build a road around there so that we can get that traffic out of those residential neighborhoods and back behind the school, so that some of those residents will be more satisfied and don't have their driveways blocked and different little things that come up. I think that's something that as a city we need to look strongly at, because they're in my experience with the police department, we got a lot of complaints because of that. And as it stands right now, there's just no other solution except for building a road around the school,
right,
so that we can alleviate that traffic.
Right. And a relationship with the Board of Supervisors would definitely benefit us into getting something like that done.
Oh, absolutely.
And getting more things like that done in Poplarville that other people are asking for. On May 2nd, those of us in the city of Poplarville are going to go to the polls and we're going to vote. And if you are elected mayor of Poplarville, give us a priority list of your first term, what you would like to see done.
Number one is streets and infrastructure. We've got to improve that. If business and industry wants to come locate themselves in Poplarville, Mississippi, and they ride around our town into our residential neighborhoods, and we've got terrible streets and terrible infrastructure, then they're going to go look somewhere else that's a little more pleasant. In my first term, I will try my very best to lower our tax millage by at least a half a mil. I think it's important that we lower taxes. increase revenue to take some of the burden off of our property owners and be able to increase business, support our local businesses. Those are my priorities. Just to kind of sum it up, with streets and infrastructure, lowering taxes, and supporting local business.
And speaking of Poplarville businesses, what can a city leader do to help improve those small businesses?
Well, I think, speaking of small business, our Main Street area, downtown Poplarville, that's what it's made up of, is small businesses. Just in the course of doing some studying and research on gathering ideas on what we can do to increase the revenue for these small businesses, I read about a little town that the city actually took in about 2 feet of the storefronts on their main street, their downtown area, and they were able to get grants and such to completely redo the facades of those stores, and to really, for I guess for lack of a better term, pretty them up,
Right.
To make that downtown area a lot more attractive for visitors to want to come in and visit those stores. And fortunately, we've had some investors recently over the past several years that have done some of that already in our downtown area, and I think it's important that we build on that. Also, holding more events in town. We're about to start a farmer's market. I think that is a fabulous thing, and it's right here in downtown, in the downtown business district of Poplarville, and that's going to draw people here, and it will increase some revenue for some of these local businesses. It's in the afternoon during business hours from 3 to 6 during the week on a Thursday. So that's 3 hours of, you're not only going to get those folks at the farmer's market, they're probably going to walk into some of these local businesses that are downtown as well and spend their money. And I think that's just a terrific idea to bring to downtown Poplarville. There are a lot of other things that we can add. We've already got a Trash to Treasure. There are more festivals that I know that some folks are looking at bringing to Poplarville, so that we can bring those folks in here and get them spending their money, because that's what we want. We want people come visit us, spend your money here. That takes that burden off of our own citizens to try to do it all ourselves.
Exactly.
You bring those folks in from outside and get them spending their money, that's just that much more tax revenue that we're going to gain from that.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you everyone for watching this segment of Hometown Hype, and also thank you to our guest, Mr. Rossie Creel.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. And we hope that you've gotten a chance to know this candidate a little bit better, and I also encourage everyone to go to the polls on May 2nd and vote.